Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV, your hub for everything politics, policy and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. Tonight we interrogate the dynamics around the recovery of Nigeria's currency, the Naira, against foreign currencies, especially the dollar. There has been a steady appreciation of the Naira, which previously was exchanging the dollar at 1,720 but witnessed a dramatic rebound, now going for 1,500 to a dollar. While experts and other players in the financial market point at conflicting dynamics, such as the CBN's directive for the use of exchange Bloomberg B-Match Forex electronic window, others attributed to inflow in forex liquidity. But concerns remain on the actual reasons behind the Naira recovery in the face of dwindling export and productivity trajectory, in addition to sustainability of the somewhat positive trend. And joining us to unpack the reasons behind the Naira rebound is a fellow of Chartered Association of Certified Accountants of England and Wales, and a former INEC resident electoral commissioner in Abuja and Niger State, Kabiru Ahmed. We are also joined live, of course virtually, by development economist Dr. Tukur Bello Ngawa. And we'll start the program proper in a moment. Viewers, once again, welcome back to the program. We apologize for actually taking some time for the proper commencement of the program. As I said earlier, we have in the studio now Kabiru Ahmed, a fellow of Chartered Association of Certified Accountants of England and Wales, and former INEC resident electoral commissioner in Abuja and Niger State. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And of course,
Hamza,
by his grace, we will be joined by Dr. Tukur Bello Ngawa, a development economist, in the course of the program. In the introductory part, of course, we said Naira is rebounding. We don't know why. Is it the CBN's directive for the use of exchange Bloomberg B-Match Forex electronic window, or as others are attributing it to maybe foreign inflow from people who are coming for Christmas? This is the cruise of the discussion today. But before then, we have one or two tidbits. Of course, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has doubled down on headline campaign pledges to impose trade tariffs and carry out mass deportations, saying he will end birthright citizenship for children of Nigerians and other foreigners born in the country. In an interview aired on Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press, Trump detailed his vision for a broad crackdown on illegal immigration, which he intends to classify as a national emergency upon taking office on January 20. According to Reuters, the Department of Homeland Security estimates that as of January 2022, over 11 million people are in the U.S. without legal status, a figure likely higher today. And back home, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has expressed his fascination for a political tradition in Ghana, where politicians hardly defect to another party every general election, a practice that is common in Nigeria. Yakubu also commended Ghana's electoral process, especially its innovations and political stability, as key factors in the smooth conduct of its 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Daily Trust reports that Ghana's ex-president John Dramani Mahama won the country's presidential election held on Saturday after his main opponent, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia of the ruling New Patriotic Party, conceded defeat. Once again, welcome, Alajironi. I will start with the second tidbit, because you also held key position in INEC at the time as resident electoral commissioner in Abuja and Niger. And you had the INEC chairman now passing commendation in what happened in Ghana. But I'm taking the question the other way. Yes. Some people said that, of course, in that statement, he also said Ghana is learning from Nigeria. And he received a lot of knocks here and there. Do you think Nigerians are fair to him for saying Ghana is actually copying some of these innovations from Nigeria?
Actually, the Nigerian electoral laws and processes have made provision properly on defection. I understand one of his key commendation is the fact that politicians hardly defect to another party in Ghana, as opposed to what is happening in Nigeria, where you see that some even 2 months, 3 months to the election will defect to another political party,
Yes.
some even after winning the election,
Yes.
which is really very strange.
Yes.
Actually, it's because of lack of enforcement. There are regulations, enforcing defection from one political party to another.
Yes.
I think in INEC, there is a supervisory department dealing with the management of political parties, looking into even finances of political parties, which hardly anybody report on that. So there are so many things that really, I think INEC has to wake up
And
to enforce the provisions
But
of the
is
law.
it more prominent now compared to the time when we were commissioner INEC in FCT and Niger?
Honestly, before it was not so rampant like what it is today. I think mainly because the political terrain has degenerated into the problem of lack of internal democracy in political parties. Once there is strong internal democracy in any political party, there is fairness and justice in the electoral process to probably come up with candidates who are going to contest rather than now being appointed instead of elected. People will not bother to defect to another political party because they know within their political parties there is fairness and there is justice, which means those who have qualified for that office and who have also met the provision of that electoral process are elected accordingly without any manipulations. I assure you, internal democracy will improve, and this kind of migration from one political party to another will reduce tremendously.
All right, thank you very much. And I want to subsume the first tidbit actually into our conversation, because I think there is correlation between them. Donald Trump saying as soon as he takes over, he will deport millions of people, Nigeria inclusive. And we are trying to talk about the recovery of Naira and then examining the dynamics. But this serious threat by Trump, how do you view it?
Well, you see, I think American democracy, contrary to what we practice here, is based on proper application of the rules and regulation guiding their democratic process. Trump, I think, he's targeting illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
There is a difference between legal and illegal immigrants. If you are an illegal immigrant, it means you are staying in that country without proper papers, without proper documentation for you to be able to stay in that country, which means you come through the back door.
Yes.
And you find most of the people who are working in very low income jobs are mainly these kind of people who are illegal immigrants, because most of these jobs in the farms and mortuaries and all the people homes are mainly people from the developing countries, or even...
And unfortunately, you see some of them with higher certificates.
Exactly.
Some they from Nigeria, they even have PhD, but you see them working in the mall.
Exactly, and in taxis and so on. But you see, if you are an illegal immigrant, then you should be prepared to face the law, because they will not, give you any kind of,
no
respect for that. If you break the law, you have to face the law. That's the issue.
Okay. So, and as I said, to establish a correlation between this threat by Trump and then foreign inflow, because in Nigeria, once you are in the U.S., people back home, they don't really care whether your stay there is formal or informal, but you will be sending dollars to them. You will be sending dollars to them, and maybe as the dollar flows, You know, even the CBN and they count it. They don't really consider whether it is gotten by an immigrant, legitimate immigrant, or an illegitimate, provided it passes through the banking system. And you have a lot of Nigerians there. Do you foresee some backlash maybe for inflow of dollars?
To some extent, you know, depending on the percentage of illegal immigrant based in US, I believe a lot of our people who are gainfully employed are in the professional fields, mainly in teaching, in schools, in hospitals, and also there are a lot of nurses that are working in various hospitals in the US, and some of them are really, really excellent in terms of their performance, in terms of their education, and also in terms of delivery of what they go there to do. But to some extent, definitely this issue will affect to the level of the percentage of illegal immigrants that will be affected by this Trump new order to deport those who were found to be illegal. And this is normal in any country. Even I remember in Nigeria, we used to have Ghana must go in those years.
Those good
you know,
days,
so it's not an aberration, but to some extent it may affect the inflow to the level of those that will be affected by this.
All right. Why is the Naira, as a certified accountant, and you've been monitoring global trends and all that, you know, the Naira suffered its worst, you know, condition in its existence? This is what people are saying during the last 18 months or thereabout. But in the last few days, we have seen it appreciating in court, or is it recovering? Of course, some people say it is the Bloomberg B-Match Forex electronic window. Some are giving other distance. But you, who is actually studying from a distance of sorts, closely, of course, what do you think is responsible for it?
Well, you know, Hamza, we discussed this issue about 2 or 3 months ago.
It's almost
when
5 years.
I visited, or 5, you know, I can't remember.
Yes.
And at that time, the situation was not this bad, even though at the recovery rate, because I remember when I came here, the exchange rate was 1,200.
Yes, 1,150,
1,200.
Yes.
And then we were very scared that it may go higher.
Yes,
because
you predicted, let me put it that way.
Yeah, well, because some of the policies put in place may not be able to regulate this depreciation of the Naira. And if you remember, we even spoke about Bitcoins and things like that. And eventually the government took some action on that. And today, I think that is a regulated transaction rather than unregulated at that time. But I think the recent gains, caught and uncaught, is mainly probably due to improved export of crude oil. We understand that the crude oil export has improved to almost 1.3 million barrels a day. Some are saying 1.5 million barrels a day. And at that time, when we discussed, we said that the major issue of the exchange rate of the Naira, apart from the flotation, is the inflow. There is shortage of supply. Nigeria is not generating enough revenue in foreign exchange on one hand, and we are continuously importing even toothpick into this country. So we are, as an import-dependent economy, mixed with an issue of leaving the Naira to float, plus the dwindling production and the export of crude oil, all merge together to beat the Naira downwards. And at that time, we offered so many suggestions, some of which include even the aviation, issue, which is to have a national carrier that will help to reduce, because Nigeria, we are one of the highly traveled people in the world. If you look at what we spend in traveling, it's so huge in terms of foreign exchange. And then secondly, the export of agricultural commodities were not regulated. And I don't know whether up to now it is, because you find so many foreigners involved in export of our wealth in terms of agricultural commodities, hides and skin, and so many things outside the banking system. We need to do that within the banking system. And it's only when you know what you are exporting and to where you are exporting, you can be able to track the income coming into the country. And unless and until we introduce an export license regime, which means the government will say this year we are going to export 20 billion worth of dollars of goods in this sector, which means you come with the cash crops, you come with the finished goods, you come with also things like hides and skin, meat and beef and so on. In fact, now Saudi Arabia is looking for our beef and meat because it's one of the best in the world.
And maybe the cheapest.
And probably the cheapest. But we are not exporting enough in areas of agricultural commodities and other exportable items, and we are not controlling enough to make sure that what is exported is being repatriated through the banking system. Unless we do that.
But this appears to be more common in northern part of Nigeria. I may be wrong, especially the agricultural produce. Could that be correct? If you check maybe with our now market,
even
transactions worth billions of dollars.
Even in the southern part of the country, cocoa is being exported, palm kernel is being exported seriously, and we have ginger from the north central state is being exported seriously. But some are done through the banking system, but a lot are not being done through the banking system. And that is why what the country is supposed to earn as inflow is not all, caught through the net. So
if I understand, what you are saying is beyond this technology, the Bloomberg B-match. The defining here is it's a spot matching system that allows banks to trade US dollars against other currencies, such as the Nigerian Naira or the Kenyan shilling or whatever. That it provides a central limit order book where banks can place anonymous orders, which are then matched with counterpart orders based on mutual trading limits and other parameters. They say it's far, far better than the one being used before. I don't know how true it is.
It is true. It's better than the one used before.
Like the FMDX, platform, yes.
And because that is exactly what is supposed to be done even initially, to trade the currency through the electronic system. And because that is the only way to reduce speculation and to reduce overbidding.
Because there is a kind of precision.
There is kind of order in terms of what and how you can buy foreign exchange. But mind you, that is limited to bank and interbank transactions. There are other transactions that are occurring outside that system, because until and unless a provision is made to bring all needs and requirements to be traded within that system, so that if I want to pay school fees, I can go and bid and get foreign exchange to pay for the school fees of my children, or medical cost of people who are going abroad for medical care. And also avoid those who are using the foreign exchange to import goods and items outside the banking system, which is what we normally call smuggling. You know, they go and look for wherever they can get the dollar at whatever rate, because they are going outside the banking system to buy goods. And otherwise, how can you explain? If you go to all the shops, you see is full of foreign imported items. How did they come into the country? Have they been processed through the banking system? Have LCs been opened through the central bank or through their banks, which normally process letters of credit? Is central bank allocating foreign exchange for frivolous items?
Where are some people getting the dollars?
Exactly.
Meaning they must be underhand.
Exactly. So until and unless we really have a wholesome approach, it will still be dancing between life and death.
Okay, for the Naira to appreciate almost 200 Naira, you know, against the dollar in less than 10 days, it's a monumental feat. But I want to quickly remember that, is it in April or thereabout, and the Naira was rated the best performing currency, you remember, in the world. But and then the CBN governor came out, you know, those packaging government also said, okay, you can see now, those who said floating of the Naira was an evil act, now the Naira is the best performing currency in the world. But in less than 1 week, it actually went on its knees. Now, can we take this appreciation with a pinch of salt?
No, you see,
and cautious optimism.
Yes, I think we seem to be going to the right direction in terms of our foreign exchange regulations. Let me put it this way.
You think we are going in the right direction?
I think so, but the major issue now is, can we sustain it?
And that is what Nigerians are.
It's the sustenance of these policies that is very critical for the Naira. And also, can this inflow, because I still want to tell you, even if there is this system in place, once the supply is not there.
So the technology can only, work very well when the real reason for dollar flow is there.
This electronic trade is only a regulation process, not to allow people to speculate, but is not an issue that will eventually increase the supply of dollar to the economy. It may bring confidence to people who want to import or who want to invest in Nigeria, knowing that, okay, there is some regulation in terms of the rate. You know, we are not running the dual rate system is what has really drove away a lot of investors. Because as long as you have a dual exchange rate, it means the market is not genuine.
So that commitment by the Tinubu administration to actually, sweep one of the options out, to now say it's just one window, is positive.
It's very good. That's the right thing to do, to have one rate, so that even where you have the what they call the secondary rate,
second tier or whatever,
the difference will be very minimal. But the bottom line is, no matter how much the supply is, and no matter the regulation, Nigeria is still an import-dependent country. we cannot continue to allow the Naira to float.
The difference
freely.
is now just about 20 Naira or
Exactly.
thereabouts.
Exactly.
But then some people believe the Naira is just responding to political rhetoric rather than economic factors. Could that be correct?
Well, to some extent, there are some little economic gains that are probably attributable to the Naira's appreciation. And the key among it, I have even seen you reporting today in your newspaper that about 36 or 32 states
of course,
and the FCT have not recorded any foreign inflow.
Yeah, in the first 9 months of 2024, of course, 32 states failed to attract single foreign investment. So I have the question here, which I am thinking we'll also discuss it as.
So you can see, you know, a foreign for somebody to feel confident in your economy, there must be two key important things.
Okay.
Is the economy growing? Which means there is potential if it is growing. If it is not growing, it's stagnant, I will not put my money. Two, is the market forces normal, or are they guided or teleguided in terms of how demand and supply plays to determine pricing? If it is fully allowed to play to the market forces, then people will feel confident that, look, whatever happens, I know is based on the demand and supply mechanism that regulates the market clearly without any manipulation. Number three, there must be security. Security is key to investors. Wherever they are going to invest their money, there must be a secure economy that will guarantee continuity. Because continuity is part of economic development. Once there is a regulation that keeps changing from one thing to another, then people will lose confidence in the economy, and they may be not willing to bring their money into the country.
And only Lagos, Ekiti, Enugu, and Kaduna were listed as states that attracted foreign direct investment, and the FCTR, of course. Now,
and if you look at it, I assure you, most of this is in the power sector.
They attracted the
yes.
Now, what is wrong with our states in the north? I don't know. I may be wrong, but most likely, no single governor has not traveled to go and attract foreign investment, and they go with big entourage, and then they also use the dollar to go looking for. Can we say this is an indictment on them? And this data, you know, came from National Bureau of Statistics. And what lessons do you think the governors must learn from Ekiti, from Lagos, Enugu, and then Kaduna, the only state in the north?
Exactly. Well, there is a simple thing. If you want me to invest in your state, I must see there is something that is investable. Is it, if you come to tell me to come and give you money to build bridges and things like that, no.
Which is common across the northern states now. You see,
but if you come to tell me to build, rail, like what the Lagos state government is doing, light rail in places like Kano, and who are heavy in terms of population, yes. Or if we want to come and build manufacture, let me tell you, there was a time I was seeing one. I met one Chinese in Kano. He said, "Look, Alhaji, I see money everywhere." I say, "Why?" He said, "Look, this state has potential, even to collect waste." Even waste collection, I can make money, and I will not charge anybody to pay.
Just needs the permission.
I just need the permission, and to collect the waste, I will convert it into wealth. I can do fertilizer, I can do many things with it. I can sort it and, but the problem is innovation. Our northern, I am sorry to say, they are not innovative enough to come up with programs that people will want to invest in.
Okay, now at the national level, are there other options to strengthen the Naira? Because it's not really good at 1.5 if you look at it. And closely related to this is how CFA, is it the Nigerian CFA, is it Chadian CFA, is it the Cameroonian CFA? They are now coming into Nigeria with it because Naira is so cheap. I mean, they exchange it and then they cut away most of the things we use our money to import using the dollars.
Yes, or even what we produce here.
Okay, so what are other options to strengthen the Naira? Maybe to bring it down to 500. Can we see it in our lifetime?
That will be very difficult, but it's not impossible. But the major issue, if we want the Naira exchange rate to improve, we have to change from import dependent to export dependent. There is
no alternative.
No alternative of that. You must produce. You must export. You must stop importing. Let me tell you, there are 3 basic things that you can do to increase your supply of foreign currency into the country. 1, you must reduce your import to the barest minimum level, only essentials. Now we are importing almost everything you can think of, even though some of them are not allowed, but you see them in the market.
I have a problem with this perspective, and I want to explain briefly in form of question. As I keep saying, if you look at it, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Niger, Chad, Benin, to some extent, even Ghana to some extent. You see them coming to Nigeria to buy a lot of our products. I mean, agricultural products. If you go to Maiduguri, even zinc, cement and all that, they come here and then pack them onto Giwa, this big truck that can take 2.5 size of what the 60-ton or whatever truck takes. Where is the problem? Because if you say you can generate foreign currency using, export, we are exporting heavily.
We are not. That is not enough. A truckload or 2 truckload of cement is not enough.
Is it cheap that we should?
Yes.
But are we getting value?
And look at it. We are importing today even finished PMS.
But are we getting value from what Chad, Niger, and Cameroon, the small things they are exporting from us? Are we getting any value from it? Or it is the non-formal thing you are talking about?
Because some of them, they come to the market with their cash and buy and go.
And government is not getting anything.
Yes. Because what we need to do is to encourage inter-African trade, which is one of the cornerstones of forming the ECOWAS.
And I have a question on the ECO, which hasn't come to fruition.
Which after now, we have not been able to, but informally, it is happening. Because you see people coming from Niger, they bring some goods here. They sell.
Like chukwi and even cattle.
They sell and get being paid in Naira. They collect Naira and they use the Naira to buy things from Nigeria to go back to their country.
Is this not a good window for government to now actually harness the African market to strengthen the Naira? Where is the missing link? Why are they looking for dollar all the time? Instead of saying, look, the Naira should be the cap for the Africa, especially West African this thing, as the largest economy. Yes. Can't we say that, okay, if you come to Nigeria, whatever you will buy, you must buy it in Naira, and we can give the Naira certain value, so that if you come with your CFA, you have to now find a way of getting the Naira.
That's why if you now encourage the inter-African trade and put a framework through either an ECOWAS protocol or the other trade organization protocols that are existing between the two countries or among the countries, then you can be able to come up with a stable mode of trading where even when you come with your goods, you don't come with money. Normally they don't come, it's exchange of goods.
Like barter? Or
not barter. I will come with, example, if I come with a chukwi, you know, like
or
what
cattle,
is it, or cattle, I say this is the cost and you pay in Naira. That Naira is not attached to any exchange rate at that time because he is not bringing any cash. He's not bringing his sefa. He's bringing goods. So it will be valued in Naira. And you pay him in Naira. He will use the Naira to buy your mat, to buy your soap, to buy your cement, and take back to his country. He will sell and get his sefa back. So this intra-African trade is very key to even, you will find that trading between West African states, you may not need the dollar to do it. But these issues will never have a serious effect on the exchange rate between the dollar and the Naira.
And why is Nigeria fixated with the dollar? I'm asking this question. I was in Russia earlier in there. I realized that it's like a crime to even showcase dollar in Russia. But it's easier for you. In fact, you are more respected if you show the South African,
the ruble,
the ruble, the South African rand, or what did you call it, and then or Brazilian, whatever, the BRICS thing. Don't you think Nigeria should also look that way?
Yes,
to subtle
the BRICS.
We have dollarized our economy.
Yes, we have already dollarized because we virtually import. This import dependent is key to the exchange rate management of this.
If we move toward BRICS, is it an option for Nigeria or towards China to get the, you know,
they even have a yuan agreement.
Yes, but it is not working to some extent. To greater extent.
It will not work because there is the issue of confidence. Up to now, many Nigerians will not want to take yuan for what because if you go to other economies, it will not work well for you. Even China, when they go out to some other economies, they will have to look for the correct currency to trade. So the issue fundamentally, Hamza, is that our economy needs to change from import dependent to export dependent.
And what are the lowest foods?
We must start producing what we consume.
That is food.
Food, and even some of the things we can. We did it before. Before we have battery factories in Nigeria. We have car parts factories in Nigeria. We have groundnut oil and so on, and we have textiles. We have so many industries.
What you are saying, we must go back to those things instead of actually deceiving ourselves that foreign direct investment will come and all that. Maybe enabling environment will allow foreign direct.
Exactly. How can you tell me now that we are going to take almost 300 million to buy one car? One car.
And we even benchmark our budget to dollar and all that. It's like we don't have confidence in our currency.
But now I have seen, even in Nosan, one of the car thing, they have started doing very good cars. Why can't the government, for example, like what happened in the 70s and the 80s, the official car in this country is Peugeot.
It was assembled.
Even the president then was riding Peugeot, the military head of state. So, but today we go for things that are outside the parameters of a sensible economy, where you buy exotic vehicles, some of them just being kept, not being even fully used, because they have become a status symbol. We must come down to the basics. Look at our economy. What do we want to do right? We are currently here. We want to move here in terms of production. We must start producing. I have seen even the president has made a statement after his recent visit to France, that Nigeria needs to change to a productive economy rather than a consumptive economy.
And we must do that.
And we have to do that.
All right. Thank you very much, Kabiru Alaji Ameroni, Fellow of Chartered Association of Certified Accountants of England and Wales.
Thank you.
And a former INEC resident electoral commissioner in Abuja and Niger State, for this economic perspective to the dwindling fortunes of the Naira.
Thank you.
We have to have you some other time.
No problem.
Of course, because we wanted to also have Dr. Tukur Bello Ngawa, a development economist. Unfortunately, the network connectivity was so terrible that we could not have him. Apologies for that. And we hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics airing every weekday and our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues. For now, thank you for being with us. I'm Hamza Idris.